God bless America. Hello, everybody. I'm the Talk Radio Protege. This is the Protege program. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got two topics to talk about today, and I want to split them into two videos because I think it's going to get a little long if I try to put them together. I guess we'll see. I don't have the other links ready to go just yet, so it'll for sure be two videos. I guess we'll just see how long it turns out being. But the topics are the court judgments that have happened today in terms of the Trump agenda and political strategy, because the Democrats are starting to come out of their shell. If you're interested in that second topic, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so that you don't miss it when that video goes up. But right now, we're going to talk about the courts, and we're going to start with the travel ban. The travel ban 3.0 had a Supreme Court appointment today, and it's looking like the travel ban is going to be upheld by the Supreme Court. The reasoning for that is based on the comments and questions asked by the Supreme Court justices, which in a rare move were released in audio form today after questioning had concluded. And we're going to look at what is available in this Fox News column, beginning with comments and questions by Justice Alito. Samuel Alito noted that of the 50 or so Muslim majority countries, only 5 were on the current ban list, or about 8% of the Muslim population. This does not at all look like a Muslim ban, he said, referring to the label the policy's critics have given it. And Alito is absolutely right. This is something that has been pointed out by several commentators of the previous iterations of the travel ban, that it is only a Muslim ban insofar as the countries that are on the ban list are Muslim majority countries. The White House has given its reasoning for banning immigration from those countries, and that is that those are the countries where a lot of terrorism is being exported from. They also cite a portion of the U.S. Code that we're going to talk about in a moment. But as far as the Muslim ban objection, it just doesn't hold water, because there are so many more Muslims in the world that are totally unaffected by this alleged Muslim ban. Now, Elena Kagan had a different line of questioning. Kagan questioned whether the executive had free rein to assert his authority over foreign policy and immigration matters, and if so, was it game over for any subsequent meaningful judicial review? Now, asking a question like this means that Elena Kagan is either trying to insert a portion of the U.S. Code into the debate surrounding this challenge, or she is totally unaware of the relevant section of the U.S. Code. We're going to go and look at it. This is from the Cornell Law website, which I believe is referenced frequently for people that are wanting to look at portions of the U.S. Code. This is 8 U.S. Code Section 1182, Part F. Let's just read it together. It's about suspension of entry or imposition of restrictions by the president. Whenever the president finds that the entry of any aliens or of any class of aliens into the United States would be detrimental to the interests of the United States, he may, by proclamation and for such period as he shall deem necessary, suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens as immigrants or non-immigrants, or impose on the entry of aliens any restrictions he may deem to be appropriate. Do you hear that, Miss Kagan? The president, via legislative authority, has the authority to, as you say, assert your... what was the exact verbiage that she used? Assert his authority. Not only is he asserting his authority, the authority was given to him by the legislature to suspend immigration from anybody. The president could tomorrow say no more immigration for the rest of my presidency, and it would be constitutional based on the legislation that's on the books today. And to my knowledge, the complainants in this case are not contesting 8 U.S.C. 1182 Part F. Therefore, the court is not allowed to use this occasion to rule on 1182 Part F. They must examine the case in light of 1182 Part F. They are not allowed to examine 1182 Part F. If my understanding of Supreme Court proceedings is correct, then the only way this can leave the court is with the travel ban being upheld. But I guess we shall see. Activist Supreme Courts tend to not adhere to the Constitution anyhow. Now, Justice Sotomayor sought assurances from the Justice Department's Solicitor General that the waiver policies for those seeking a visa from 5 mostly Muslim countries were more than just window dressing. Now, this has been a big point of... no, I'm getting ahead of my notes here. If the DOJ provides assurance that the waivers are legitimate and not just window dressing, is Sotomayor going to vote to uphold the ban? I don't think you should hold your breath, but I suppose stranger things have happened. I highly doubt that any assurances given to the court by the DOJ are going to be considered enough by Sotomayor. Justice Kennedy, in general considered to be the swing vote on the Supreme Court, questioned the campaign rhetoric line of reasoning from the complainants. He questioned whether Trump's campaign call for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the U.S. was important to the current appeal. Is anything said in a campaign irrelevant? He asked. But Kennedy also suggested that the president has continuing discretion, he does, to decide how long countries can remain on the banned list of entry, meaning the policies could be open-ended. Now, it's a big point of contention for the complainant in this case that Trump's campaign statements should be taken into account when examining the literal language of the proclamation. Remember, the proclamation is no immigrants from these countries, period. And the complainants are saying Trump has said he wants a Muslim ban in the campaign. This ban affects Muslims, therefore it should be considered a Muslim ban and therefore illegal. Now, all told, Ginsburg, Breyer, and Kagan are virtually guaranteed to vote to strike down the ban. Alito, Roberts, Thomas, and Gorsuch are likely to vote to uphold it. Sotomayor, if her qualms about the waivers are answered, ought to vote to uphold it, but again, don't hold your breath on that matter. Justice Kennedy seems likely to vote to uphold the measure based on his line of questioning, leaving the court at a 5-4 uphold vote. But again, we will just have to wait and see what actually happens. The second court things that I wanted to talk about were the DACA shutdown was ruled unlawful by a federal judge, not the Supreme Court, but a federal judge, who went even farther than previous federal judges have on this ruling. This judge said, where did he say it? Here. Bates is the judge in the case. Bates' decision does not hold that the Trump administration lacks the authority to rescind DACA. Rather, it holds that the administration's justification for ending the policy is insufficient under the Administrative Procedure Act, which states that courts shall hold unlawful and set aside agency action found to be arbitrary, capricious, and abuse of discretion or otherwise not in accordance with the law. Now, that's interesting. That is very interesting because you might remember that Obama said that executive amnesty was illegal and unconstitutional. I'm sure there's a YouTube montage or a montage somewhere out there. Make sure that you don't Google search it. You'll have to search on something like DuckDuckGo or something else besides something like that, not one of the mainstream search engines, to find a montage of Obama saying executive amnesty is illegal and unconstitutional. Therefore, the relevant agencies should have set aside those actions because they're not in accordance with the law. But Bates says that the agency could not explain its view that DACA, or did not sufficiently explain its view that DACA was unlawful. You know, I don't see why the federal government, the federal prosecutor, or whoever is in the chamber arguing this case should literally walk in and say, lean into the microphone and say, Obama said it was unconstitutional, and walk out. I mean, if it was me, I think I would do something like walk up to the microphone and say, Your Honor, President Obama said executive amnesty is unconstitutional, and leave the chamber. Because, I mean, when the president that instituted the action said it was unconstitutional, why did anybody even begin to think that it was going to be okay? Now, Bates said that the administration didn't sufficiently explain its view that DACA was unlawful. So I think I'll share some of that with you. In case you're interested, I'm just skipping this from the Patriot Post. I'm just going to skip it for the sake of flow, even though I'm breaking flow by pointing that out to you. But anyway, from the Daily Caller, here are 4 ways in which DACA is illegal. And for the sake of time, I think I'm just going to hit the highlights. DACA expressly violated federal statutes which require the initiation of removal proceedings. The Illegal Alien Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act. I think this is what I'm looking for. No, anyways. DACA expressly violated federal statutes which require the initiation of removal proceedings. DACA violated the constitutional obligation of the executive to take care that the laws are faithfully executed. DACA conferred amnesty and federal benefits under the false pretense of prosecutorial discretion, and DACA conferred a benefit without promulgating a rule. The language and verbiage gets a little in the weeds for this column for the purposes of this video, but I mean, I don't see what other rationale is needed besides Obama said DACA was illegal. Obama said DACA was unconstitutional. Obama said that the executive branch could not unilaterally do amnesty. And then when the legislature didn't do the amnesty that Obama wanted, he did it anyway, after he said that it was illegal and unconstitutional. I don't see how much more simple it can get. Now, it's getting a little late in the day for me to record another video, and the place where I do my uploading and editing is the Wi-Fi is behaving very strangely right now. I haven't been able to upload a video from this location this whole week. So the next video probably going to be coming out early tomorrow morning. Make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so that you don't miss that one or any future videos. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are about these 2 cases. Until next time, have a good night and God bless.